everyone, my name is Felicia and I'm the founder of Business Multiplier. Usually the problems are different. We have this thing called the 4 stages of business. The first stage is what we call the foundation, and this is where most startups are, where maybe the revenue is still fluctuating, sales go up and down. Some months are very good, some months are really slow, and it just feels a little bit chaotic where you are not sure what's going to happen next month or even next week. True story. I've heard some business owners saying, well, we don't even know what's going to happen next week. So this is the foundation stage where your job is to build strong foundation so that it's not going to be a ship filled with holes sailing out to the open sea. Can you imagine what's going to happen? When you've got everything in order, when you started putting all the different strategies to make sure that at least the numbers are a bit more predictable and you are not fighting fire 100% of the time, this is when we move to the next stage. This is when you want to feed. The second F is feed. Feed your growth. This is when it is starting to be really fun because then it is a strategy game. Now we try these 3 strategies for this month. Oh, this one increased the sales by 20%. This one increases the sale by 40%. This one doesn't work. Throw it away or improve it. Try another 2 strategies. And we just keep building to the point where that's really how you multiply your profit and revenue. Once you see that the growth is accelerating, the third stage is when the business flourishes, right? This is the time to flourish. And at this time, the biggest focus, when the SME has been around for a little while and most of the first 2 stages are done, then the focus is really to remove that dependency of the business on the business owner bit by bit. Making sure that now the owner is shifting from working in the business, running the day-to-day grind, being the primary rainmaker, to on the business, where they are the architect of the success. Where now they are focusing on being the captain of the ship instead of being the captain, the cleaner, the cook, everything else. Now that you have flourished and you are building the team to the point where you can shift your focus to be the captain, then it's time for stage 4, which is deciding your future. Obviously, the conversation about your future will start happening way earlier. Are you going up for an eventual acquisition? Are you going for franchising, licensing? Are you going to go global to make sure that your brand is a household name all over the world? That will be so cool. Or maybe you want to pass it down to the next generation. It might be your kids. It might be your team members. Maybe you have a few capable people that you want to keep running the show while you enjoy, then reap the benefit of the passive income from the business for many years. Well, whichever outcome it is, you still want to make sure that you know what is the plan to move to the next stage. So if you are a startup, maybe we are still dealing the first stage or 2. It is really to stabilize the business and to make sure that we have proper things in place. If you are a mature SME, we may be talking about a potential exit strategy and how to prepare yourself for that, to build that valuable, sellable company. Well, the business multiplier coaches sometimes have to be not SpongeBob SquarePants, sponges, meaning we have to absorb as quick as possible. In fact, maybe that's something that we do very well. We learn from all the different kinds of sources. We go networking quite a lot. We meet a lot of people who are in the different industries. We absorb all the industry knowledge from these people. We also learn from our clients. We also learn from the strategies that we have implemented with all the different clients in the different industry, what has worked, what has not. We also even look at how a strategy that doesn't seem to work, upon tweaking and adjusting, can be one of the most profitable strategy ever. We equip ourselves with learnings from outside, all the different certifications. Even though, if I can be honest, certifications is not the primary source of knowledge. Everywhere. You can find knowledge everywhere if you commit to learning. And for us, we commit to learning faster than everybody else. Well, we do stay abreast. We attend a lot of the different workshops, conventions. We meet all the different experts in different fields. We do not claim to know everything in all the fields, but we probably know one or two experts in every field that you will need to grow your business. Wow, this is one topic I can talk about forever and ever, but I shall not try to bore you. So marketing and branding is a very big topic apparently. We have a few stages to make sure that these are effective strategies. First, we download from the client what have they tried, how did they implement these strategies, and then we will troubleshoot. Sometimes an existing strategy may potentially be an effective one, but maybe they are not doing it correctly. So after we have this list of strategy of what has worked, what has not, why they don't work, we have this thing called the strategy bank. And within this strategy bank is a compilation of all the things that we have come across, different industries, different businesses, different vendors, different experts have told us. And these strategies most of the time are the tried and tested ones that at least has worked for some businesses. So we have this list. So after downloading from the client on what has worked and what has not, and what needed to be improved, then we will see which of the strategies in our strategy banks might be suitable for these clients. It will take a lot of testing and measuring and tracking, because if you do not track the ROI of the strategies, you are wasting your marketing efforts. So for example, we once had this client where they were like, oh, we spent X amount of money and this is on influencer marketing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a believer in influencer marketing. I've seen how it has helped some of my clients achieve great results. But my question to her was, how much did this strategy generate for the business? No answer, because they never tracked whether the outcome was there. They didn't even track whether the influencer posted as many posts as per what was agreed upon. But they are paying big money for this strategy. So you see, the tracking is very key to make sure that the things that you spend money on are effective. So please, just because you have all this spare money, don't keep spending all these things and not track. Because most of the time, it results in me having another conversation with this other client where we found out they have been spending $4,000 a month. Can pay somebody's salary, $4,000 a month on a marketing strategy where it was generating zero sales. Zero, okay? So obviously, we then question, why do we still do this if we know that the ROI is zero? The answer that came back to me was, what if we do this, it will get worse? How much worse can it be than zero? Well then, what if this $4,000 can be reallocated into 3 or 4 other strategies? And if one of them works and it generates $5,000 sales, where should you allocate more budget on? Some other business owners have strategies that work, but they limit their budget. It is because they feel, well, maybe we're not doing extremely well, I shouldn't spend this money. But can I remind you guys, when I say effective marketing strategy, if let's say whatever $1 you put on this marketing strategy yields you $2, $3, $4, please put more money. If this strategy you don't even know that is generating anything, then yes, we have to be concerned with how much money. But seriously, if every time you put $1, it gives you back $4, how many $1 coin you want to put in this machine? If I were you, I'll just put everything I have, because then it will generate. And the thing about marketing is, certain strategies, if you increase the budget a little bit, sometimes it goes a long way. Sometimes it will reduce the customer acquisition cost. And the more you allocate, the cheaper it is for you to acquire one customer. So this is what you need to track. Now, the other thing is, sometimes when the client implements strategies, they may not be doing it properly. The good thing about working with a business coach is that we are your sounding board. People send us your marketing collaterals all the time. People send us their copywriting all the time just for us to add value and give feedback. There was a client of mine who used to believe email marketing does not work because he had sent out a couple of hundred of emails and it didn't work. So what happened then is that they started forwarding some of the email copies to us. We spotted what was some of the room for improvement. We gave them our suggestions, and then they secured some B2B clients that were household names in Singapore. So it's not the strategy that didn't work, it's how you do it too. So again, with us, it is not just the fact that we come with a bank of strategies, but it is also that we make sure you implement it correctly. And that is how we ensure that clients are implementing the correct marketing strategy. On the branding front, a lot of the times to clients, branding is about colors and fonts. We like to help build stories. Remember, facts tell, but stories sell. So there was a client that came to us and, okay, well, we just did a rebranding project. We have new corporate colors, we have new corporate this and that. But you know what? When we go for sales pitch, we are still not closing the deal. And when we vet through how they sell, then we were like, maybe you should try this. So we help them develop their brand story. Now we are not branding consultant, by the way. If you really need an in-depth audit, we know the right people to refer to you. Don't worry, we know quite a few. But we know what kind of stories will sell. So we help this client develop a very simple story to tell every time he presents about his brand. It improved his conversion rate from 10-20% all the way to more than 50%. Isn't that cool? If conversion rate more than doubles, by right, sales should also double with the same number of leads. But again, if you want to do a very extensive branding exercise, we are not the right people, but we know so many experts. Some of them are my very good friends. We'll be more than happy to introduce them to you. The primary service is really business coaching. The business coaching, though, is divided into two categories. I call one is the brain side, where we talk a lot about numbers-driven business coaching. We talk about sales, marketing strategy, systems, finance, all the usual stuff. And then we have the hard side of business coaching, where we talk about team, employee engagement, how to recruit the right people, how to build the company culture, how do you increase your team's productivity. So we have programs on both sides. Some clients start off with the brain side first. Well, can we just make sure that we improve sales first? Typically, that's what we do in the first couple of months. Make sure you improve your sales, because after that, then you have money for strategies, you have money for hiring, you have money for everything else. So the first 3 months, we work on the different strategies. Make sure that your revenue grows. Make sure that you at least are profitable. And then from there, then we can strategize a bit more about what else you can do. There are some companies, mature SMEs, that come to us and their biggest pain point are on the team side. Well, we have 12 men salespeople and only 2 are hitting KPIs. And the rest have never hit, or maybe once in a blue moon. Wow, 2 out of 12. So in this case, we may start with the team side of things first, the hard side of business coaching. We make sure that the team is gelled together, working together, produce the outcome, motivated to do their best. Once the team side of things is done, then we can look at how we can implement different strategies again to make sure that we feed this sales team different lead generation strategies for them to convert. Sometimes it is good to start with the brain side first when there's lack of strategy and direction or no clarity on where everyone is heading. If you are not clear about where the boat is heading, it is very difficult to reach your end destination. Sometimes we have to start with the hard side, especially when you feel like the engagement level is very low, that most people are just there to cruise, do the bare minimum. Then maybe we have to awaken them first, because otherwise, even if we give them strategies, resources, they will still be doing their bare minimum. But all this came down to our discovery calls, discovery meetings, where we, almost like a doctor, analyze where should we start based on what is the primary issue or challenge that the business is facing. Sometimes, when the business requires both sides, the brain and the hard side of coaching, then we may be able to package something together and make that a consultancy project, because then it will be a full on, all rounded, holistic approach. We will then source for the right government grant to subsidize some of these projects.